Hey, welcome back to Two Super Guys Trade Stocks. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Vinny. And today is one of those 4 times a year where we get that lovely little Burry miss, where we get the idea of what Michael Burry, one of the famous investors from The Big Short, is thinking in terms of his portfolio management and try to understand how he's looking at the market right now. So we're going to look at his 13F filing.
Yeah, sorry, we would have had it earlier, but we had some technical difficulties. Windows sucks. If you like this kind of entertaining market, Two Stupid Guys content, give us a like and subscribe, and we'll get started. Oops. Yeah. Okay.
Two Stupid Guys Trade Stocks.
Yeah, it's one of those days.
All right. Yeah, you guys probably saw the headline. I mean, basically, this is his 13F filing. This is wellwisdom.com, great website for tracking these super investor kind of folks. But basically, he only owns one stock as of right now. He sold every other position he had as of June 30th when this filing is required to represent his portfolio. It gets 45 days after the quarter ends to actually file it, but this represents his holdings as of June 30th. What do you think?
I have a question here. So he sold everything, right? But we do not know if he is shorting, correct?
Yes, you are not required to divulge a shorting position according to like the SEC. They have to report only U.S. Equities and options on U.S. equities. That's the only thing that they have to do. They do not have, or long positions, I should say, on equities. They do not have to report shorts, and they don't have to report any foreign holdings. So this potentially could own something that's not listed in the U.S. And also, if he is shorting, we wouldn't know it. But he doesn't have any put contracts anymore like he did on Apple. Remember, that was the big highlight of his last portfolio update, was that big Apple put position. That's
right.
Gone. It's closed that.
And I don't think that did too well because, I feel like Apple over the last 3 months is just right up there.
Yeah. We've been following him now for a little while, and I'm trying to still understand his thought process. Now, from people consider him a value investor, but from a value standpoint, a lot of his transactions don't make sense to me. They seem to be more of a technical analysis kind of stuff where he's taking short-term opportunities in stocks. But that's because we've only been following him during this kind of heightened, frothy, bullish phase. So it's kind of hard to extrapolate that throughout the whole market. Now, if you do a little deeper dive in this GEO stock, I know it's kind of politically charged because it is a private prison company, but it does actually have some interesting points. Not only I want to show you a long-term chart of them. So, right off the bat, you can tell that they're down significantly from the long-term highs, right? Once the stock was a $25, $30 stock, and now it's hanging out down here, was $7.
Right.
He's actually moved the stock 10% just by his disclosure of his position in this.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
I know, right? It was up like 10% yesterday and another 4% today. So when you look at this stock a little bit, this isn't a full analysis of the stock, but it's kind of interesting. It makes more sense for like a deep value kind of play where you have a $1 billion market cap with like $500 million in cash in the bank account. So that's $500 million. In terms of debt, they only had $3 billion, but that was mostly leases. And true long-term debt was only about $80 million. So you're talking about something with a net cash position that's about $400 million positive, meaning that this company is really only selling for, say, $600 million. And they generated $300 million of free cash flow last year. So it's about a 50% return in terms of free cash flow. That makes sense for me from a deep value kind of perspective, a stock that would kind of fit in a portfolio like that. But a lot of his other transactions, he's in and out of these positions so often, so quickly. And even GEO Group here, he's owned it a few times. It's hard to understand exactly what he's basing this on other than technical analysis. The other kind of point I want to make too is that this isn't the first time he's kind of sold out of everything. If you go back, we actually did a video on it November 15th. It was third quarter of 2021. He had done the same thing. Yeah, he basically sold out of everything.
He ended his TLT puts, and I kept them, and that was my best trade of the year.
Yeah, very different. Like it's hard to wrap your kind of head around it, but definitely, I think he's driven much more by technical analysis than people appreciate from like his history and kind of good backstory there. But I don't know, interesting.
I would have to say, from his tweets, I gotta think he's shorting. The guy just tweets 3 times a week about how this is the most ridiculous, this is a bear trap, and insert whatever phase you want. Yeah. But they're all centralized around the idea of he's shorting the market. So I gotta think he is.
I think that's a very strong, distinct possibility. he's only got like $3 million in long equity positions right now, and his portfolio at one point was 400 million, in that ballpark. So options value kind of can throw that off a lot, but like he's going to have a lot of either cash or kind of short positions. I would say at this point makes sense.
Yeah. All right, guys. Let us know if you think he's shorting or if anything he's doing is weird. I'm not really into for-profit prison stocks, so I'm going to pass on that one. But yeah, all right.
Interesting. Makes sense. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.